On this episode of the Third Gallon Podcast.
Jinkies.
Zoinks.
Fuck.
After uncovering a dark secret.
And you kind of discovered through some conversation something that had been bothering Henrik. The fact that he was a arsonist murderer.
The intrepid adventurers explore the cursed house.
So you're standing in front of this building that's been burned down, and you see these like cinders in it, but no smoke, like there's snow sitting on top of it. And you feel this immense heat coming off of the building, like you're standing in front of a bonfire.
And prepare to battle the beast of Lake Tankred.
Textbook frog giant.
Frog giant, comma, ice.
Textbook ice creature.
Because there's also like sewer frog giant and your forest frog giant.
Swamp frog giant.
Swamp frog giants. You know, you gotta be careful.
You've heard the legends of cloud frog giants.
Yes.
Hold on to your medallions, cause it's getting started.
Nug.
Yes.
Your amulet does nothing.
Take it!
Now.
Murder is always murder, regardless of motive or circumstance. Thus, those who murder or prepare to murder are malefactors and criminals, regardless of who they may be, kings, princes, marshals, or judges. None who contemplates and commits violence has the right to consider himself better than an ordinary criminal, because it is the nature of all violence to inevitably lead to crime. Nicodemus de Boot, Meditations on Life, Happiness, and Prosperity. An excerpt from Blood of Elves by Andrzej Sapkowski. I have an interesting idea I want to bring up to everyone here.
What is that, Derek?
You know, we used to do this thing in season 1, a little thing, called bottle caps.
Ooh.
But
are you going to call them medallions?
Like this.
Like that.
Like the audience can clearly see.
That you can clearly see holding up a bottle cap. I want to do a bottle cap system for this game.
Are you going to toss a coin to us?
I will toss a cap to all of you. None of you are Witchers, but we are playing the Witcher RPG.
Excuse.
None of you
Nug
are Witchers.
thinks he's a Witcher.
Sir.
But I will say, to
Witcher
kind of...
in training is still a Witcher.
Oh, shut up. You're not in training.
He begs to differ.
Stop.
Then beg.
You have violated the law. You wanted me to remind you.
I know. I'm going to bring that up.
Stop, you have violated the law. Your stolen items are now forfeit.
But I want to reset the bottle cap count each season.
Yeah.
Because of the same rules are going to be in effect. For those of you who are new to this, much like other games have hero points or other ways to reward inspiration, a way to reward cool actions by the players and everything. We use bottle caps, which we've got from one of our favorite shows, Glass Cannon Podcast, and everything they do. You hear us talk about them a lot because we love those guys. So a bottle cap is basically something I hand out to players whenever they do something cool or I otherwise deem it a worthy moment. Basically, in previous games, we would just hand out them for moments and people would stash them up. In our current form, we're going to only limit it to 2 caps per person at a time, max.
Uncalled for.
So you cap out. And we're going...
hoarders are insulted.
Yeah, you should be. We're going to reset each season again to encourage, your cap usage. So the way we're going to have it work for the Witcher RPG is very simple. It's just like it would work if we were playing Pathfinder or D&D. It's just you spend a cap to re-roll, but you have to, unlike in Forbidden Lands where you could spend it after your roll because it was a artifact die in that game. In this game, it's going to work like it has in other games where you have to announce the cap usage before the roll, and then you can do 2 rolls, take the higher.
Cool. Sounds fair.
Cool. So I'm going to hand out new caps if everyone wants to hand in theirs right now.
Did you actually give us physical caps for that?
I think
you did. Hold
took
on.
your caps, right? Or
no, I have one.
Is that from season 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought you had actually given out caps. So
No,
then
this
you know
is
what?
just my personal.
So what we're going to do is
Cream
hand
soda.
out one cap per person like we did in season 1. So just hold on to it. And then Drow, here's yours for season 2.
and also a good idea would probably be to
it's a
mark
Mike's
it on
Hard
your
Lemonade
sheet.
cap.
I didn't want to lose it. This is maple syrup.
For everyone except
Except
you.
you.
Yummy maple syrup.
Yummy,
Yummy,
yummy.
yummy.
Maple syrup.
Stop.
God damn you.
Bark.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
I did my time and I want out.
Oh, dear.
All right, then, I suppose.
So while you guys are putting in your bottle caps to your sheets, if you are, I wanted to throw out an idea I had for this game. We're talking rules today, so buckle up, nerds.
All right.
Click,
Just everyone.
click.
Yeah, put on their
Click.
seatbelts.
Is it math related?
That's not really math related. It's
Click.
Jacob's dumb character wanting to be a Witcher.
I am an inspiration.
It made me think of there's no multi-classing in this game officially, right? You know, multi-classing is something you can do in a lot of other systems. I don't think you could do it technically in Forbidden Lands, but it really didn't matter because of the way the talents worked.
Yeah.
But in this game, you know, you pick your profession and you're kind of locked in, and that's fine. A lot of games do work like that. Not everything has to have a way to, you know, let you multi-class. I was going to throw this out there as a suggestion.
So
See,
is this something that we're declaring, or is
We're
just
going-
being put out there for now?
we're discussing it. We don't need to
like
agree
Feed the Mind?
officially.
Like feed the mind.
Yes.
Tink tink walla walla bing bang. So the way I am envisioning maybe doing multi-classing is since everything is basically skill based, like, you know, you have your skill trees, you have your defining skill, and then like that unlocks different trees. I am debating doing multi-classing in such a way where you have to spend a certain amount of IP to get the first defining skill in a new profession. Does that make sense? For example, spend 6 improvement points to get rank 1 in a new profession, and then let you spend at twice cost to go down another profession's skill trees. And for learning a new profession, you have to like work with the DM to have narrative role play reasons behind it. So you just can't do it for free. It has to be part of your character. But in this hypothetical scenario, Jacob's dumb character who wants to be a Witcher ends up at like Kaer Morhen with all the Witchers of the Wolf School.
I'm sorry. I want to stop you right there. I would not, on my life, dare have Nug multi-class as an actual Witcher.
Okay.
That would ruin everything about
This is
him.
actually a bad example because Witchers have like the mutations and
Yeah,
everything.
they got and there would honestly be a straight up chance that Nug would die.
Yeah, so
I think that would be pretty funny
That would
though.
be hilarious. To
barring
be fair.
extreme extenuating circumstances, Witchers would just be a hard bar. But like maybe Nug wanted to learn magic, and you
Yeah.
went to study magic with Viverwind and maybe some other mages, and you spent like months and months doing it. At that point, we could let you spend maybe improvement points to take magic training as a skill. Obviously, it would be hell to do on Roll20 with our
Yeah.
character sheet the way it
Basically
is,
just need another character sheet.
more or less. But what do you guys think about that?
I think it's an intriguing idea. So my question would be, I get the spending points to have access to another skill tree. That's a very creative idea. At what point would you be spending experience points to get something like Vigor, which is necessary? Or would you say you never get Vigor and Nug would have to get a focus of some kind just to cast?
My thinking going into it, because this is a good point, is you would get half the vigor.
Is it possible to learn spells if you have a focus that negates it down to 0? Or is that impossible?
You know, technically, you learn magic by spending time and making a spellcasting check. So you could learn spells, and if you had a focus, I guess technically there's nothing to stop you from casting it as long as you have to cast something that focus covers. And you would need a beefy focus to cast a lot of the even novice spells at that point.
Fair point.
So yeah, I would say because, you know, you're jumping into another class, everything you get from another class costs 2 IP to learn.
Yeah.
And then like anything like vigor, you'd get at half its normal value. So you would get 2 or 3 vigor to start with. I don't know if we want to commit to this, but it was just a thought I was having.
It sounds cool.
It's a fun idea to put out there. I think we'd have to give it some thought and make sure it's balanced.
I think it's balanced because you're getting new abilities at a very high cost.
Yeah.
Very high cost.
IP. But in my opinion, you cannot do this without explicit GM approval. Unlike other systems where you can just multi-class for free. It's just part of the game.
Yeah.
With this, it's like you would have to not only work with your GM, but like if it's a character that's actively advancing, which it pretty much always would be, you would have to like go through that process.
Yeah.
So I don't see it really coming up maybe in our game, but I just wanted to throw it out there because I was thinking about it.
I wouldn't be interested in for my current character, but I think it would be a cool idea.
Yeah.
It would be a fun idea.
So you guys at Artel Saurian, listening to us, this big shot podcast, call in, see what you think.
Yes, please. The whole company. Call in.
The whole company.
The phones are waiting.
Mr. R. Talsorian.
Mr. John R.
Talsorian yourself.
Oh,
That's not who it is.
Oh my God.
that's not who it is.
Apparently it's Pondsmith and Pondsmith.
Yeah, you don't know who that is?
No.
No.
So
I'm very bad at names and I don't know people.
Mike Pondsmith is the guy who is behind Cyberpunk 2020, like the original Cyberpunk role-playing game.
Nifty.
So he's...
Are they related?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's him and Cody Pondsmith, his son.
Oh.
His son, I think, is the guy who's mostly behind the Witcher RPG, and his wife, Lisa Pondsmith.
Makes me so happy.
It's a Pondsmith, and Pondsmith.
Yeah.
A legal team. Pondsmith.
I have a monster problem and I need help now.
Well, J.G. Pondsmith. If you're listening, one of you guys, this game is amazing, and I'm sorry that we're having a giggle. J.G. Pondsmith.
Call Gary of Rivia.
I know this guy. He's Gary from Rohan.
Nothing brings me more joy than getting Geralt's name wrong.
Getting the franchise stuff wrong.
That's right. I love Cindy and Gary. And Yennefer. No, wait, that's an actual name.
Jennifer.
No! I was thinking Jennifer.
And Yala.
Okay.
Baba Yala.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you know what happens this episode?
Bark.
What?
We get experience points.
Yeah, it does.
Improvement points.
Do you guys want to go ahead and get into that early?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so every session you hand out improvement points, I think, at the end of it, which you use to spend on your different things. We've just kind of committed to using, there's a table for determining per player your rewards, but we're going to stick with giving out 6 per player, so take 6 improvement points.
Now, I would like to make a point. You say 6 normally, but if we do something special or exceptional, we could get more.
Right.
We did find out that somebody in this village is a cold-hearted murderer.
Yeah, but
That just
6
seems like story points.
6 is labeled at did something incredibly clever.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that falls at least at or below that.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, come
That's
on.
about
It
what
was
I
kind of
thought.
obvious.
Okay. Shoot me for trying.
But no, 6 is a little high to hand out to every player per session, but because of the nature of the show,
Yeah, we're going fast.
we're going to be moving fast. And like we are playing basically what would be a full session anyway. So we're trying to keep the advancement more noticeable since it's going to be, roughly an hour and a half once a week for you
We
guys.
want to show off what this system can do with characters who aren't just beginners.
Yeah, because in a long form game, you can have a character make that transition and be there every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But this is always going to be a short to mid length game, so want to see that progression happen a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
So, Nug, you taking that little what is it? That little mage dip?
No, because it's not official yet.
Yeah,
I have
you're right.
other goals to get to first. Before my boy learns any magic, you got to be a good smack boy.
You gotta
Now,
smack your cheeks real
Can
good.
you remind me how much it costs to buy the second skill in our skill tree?
Yeah,
You
so
already there?
it should just be
I'm
one.
saving points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, once you do 5 in the first one of the tree, the next one will cost 1 to bring it up to 1, and then 1 to bring it up to 2, and then every
Yeah.
other skill.
And each one you can max out at 10. the first thing you want to do is invest up to 5 points in whatever the first skill in that tree is to unlock it. And then you can take that up to 10, but 5 will let you start putting points into the next one.
Okay, good to note.
So I think for you, let me look at your sheet here.
I want to get that second skill.
Oh, silver coating?
Yes.
So we've done 2 rounds of experience. I'm not sure where you spent your first bout, but augmentation is the first one in the improviser tree. Whenever you get that up to 5, then you can start on silver coating, which I know is the skill that you've had your eyes
I've had my
on.
eye on that one. My eye, remember?
Oh yeah, eye patch. My God, I forgot. What are you looking at doing, Jacob and Nug?
Oh, I've already spent my points.
Oh,
Using last time we got XP and this time I've gotten my first bit of the Reaver skill tree, the first skill up to skill level 4.
okay. So have you also spent points in
Other stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. A point in sailing, because he is from Skellig and he would need to know how to sail.
Okay.
And maybe a point in persuasion. I used up all of my improvement points last time.
Okay.
I think I may have upgraded my melee from 2 to 3 as well.
Okay.
Because I have a shield.
And you have
now.
to pay the number of points you have to go to the next point.
Yes.
Yeah. So Drow, what are you looking at for Viverwin? Are you banking up for some spell Johns?
Yeah. I'm just saving because I'm a mage.
How many improvement points do you have banked up right now?
9.
Ooh,
Sweetness.
juicy.
I
Yeah.
got 6 banked.
There's a lot.
And I mean, this is kind of metagaming a little bit right now, but you should keep in mind, because if you are able to get in with the High Mountain Society of Sorceresses, you could learn spells from them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I don't know whenever you guys are going to be able to get back to them, but you would need, I think I'm looking at the learning magic table, 10 IP to learn a novice spell, 20 to learn a journeyman, and 30 to learn a master spell.
I'm never going to do anything in this game.
Well, this is why I'm handing out IP so much faster. It's like, I want us to actually like get into this, you know?
Listen, if we need to do something impressive to get more experience points, we can just feed a man to a monster. Solve the problem right out.
I don't know.
I don't know if that would be a very creative solution.
There's some things that would, to quote number 9 on the improvement table, 9 points, would blow the GM's mind. Yeah. But it's not always something like impressive.
Being stupid.
Sometimes it's just
Would
out
you
there.
tell me that us sacrificing a man to get rid of a monster would not blow your mind?
Oh, it blew my mind, but not because it's like
Amazingly.
a feat of like
Well, it doesn't.
amazement.
It would blow your mind. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a good thing.
But like,
No.
I don't know if I could let Inef do that in character.
I know.
She's too nice.
I know.
I think Viverwin could do it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Viverwin, that's what Viverwin wanted, but Inef totally couldn't in character.
To be fair, he killed a family.
Yeah.
So, I get it.
Viverwin understands the importance of family, being that they are an elf, and procreation is one of the more important things that an elf can do nowadays.
Ohana means family.
Family means nobody gets burned up or cursed.
Hey, listen. Family
my
means
God.
sometimes you sacrifice yourself so your kid doesn't die to a monster.
If
I mean, seriously,
if your house burns down and you need a settlement, call JC Spots.
I spent all of my points but 1 increasing my my
spirits.
augmentation from 2 to 4.
Please go GG Wentworth. It's 7 cash.
Because that would cost 2 to go from 2 to 3, and then 3 to go from 3 to 4. So that's 5 of my 6.
So you got 1 banked ready for next time. Okay. But the thing about this game, though, so I know like it doesn't feel good to only jump up 1 in a skill, but it kind of makes sense. Every extra point is harder and harder to get. And at the same time, because this is D10 based, like +1 to something is more mechanically substantial than
It's
it
hefty.
is in other games. Yeah. Although, like, Jacob and I were talking about this with this game, like, unlike in, especially like D&D Pathfinder, which I know we reference all the time, when you have a high bonus in those games, you are almost guaranteed to not fail.
Yeah. Because in skills in Pathfinder don't get fumbles.
Yeah.
Like if your number still adds up to enough, then you get it.
You're basically
base rules. Some people don't do that, but base rules.
You basically increase your chance to where you almost never fail. And sometimes with a skill, if you get high enough, you just don't fail flat out on some things. Where in this game, it's like you are always, and we've seen this because I'm on the subreddit for this game and some other like fan groups. You are always one wacky set of rolls away from just
death
and chaos. Because if you get hit by an attack that is a 10 and explodes to another 10, and then you fumble on your dodge roll,
It's bad.
You could just straight up die.
Yeah.
Be
One
obliterated.
hit. Yeah. And it happens. Like it's rare, obviously, because of that, but it happens. And
It could happen to Geralt of Rivia's stats.
yeah, we were talking about that. It's like it doesn't matter if you're Yennefer or Geralt or Rivia, even if you're a superhero in this game, you can just get wiped out.
Yeah.
That's really cool because that makes you think, even if you're a superhero, quote, 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 main character player with plot armor, so to speak, you still have to be careful.
It grounds the game in a bit more reality.
Yeah.
Cat, I'm looking at your augmentation skill right now. You could do some really cool stuff right now.
I don't have a lot of components for stuff
That
yet.
is the
That's what's
big
holding me
thing.
back right now. I need to be at a place where I can get components.
Yeah. Now, I mean, so we're kind of getting into the game already, but with some of those components, crafting components, you can forage for like stuff like timber is super easy to get with just a foraging check and some time.
Actually, I don't think your augmentation costs ingredients. It never says that in the skill.
I know the silver coating does.
The silver coating does, but like adding +1 accuracy to our weapons or +2 SP to our armor to make it harder for stuff to get through it, that doesn't seem to have a cost.
Oh,
Just looking at it.
Well, if we're going to go fight this monster, that's the sort of thing I might want to do in preparation for fighting the monster.
yeah.
Right now, we didn't know before we got here, we didn't know what we were coming into.
Yeah.
Oh, that leads me to the next thing I need to get to here is long ago, the worlds collided in a cataclysm known as the conjunction of the spheres.
Conjunction.
Chaos filled the world as vampires, ghouls, trolls, humans, and other monsters poured into the world. The Witchers, mutated by magic and alchemy, were created by human mages to stem the tide.
Stem the tide.
Hundreds of years later, monsters are rare, but evil remains. As war ravages the northern kingdoms, dangerous monsters lurk without and within. In the world of the Witcher. It's no 300 years, but it's pretty good.
You almost fell apart there.
Yeah.
About 3/4 of the way through.
Almost
We
destroyed
almost
you.
gotcha. But yeah, like straight up looking at this, if Cat were to not fumble on all of our armor, and not a big if, I know, or all of our weapons and all of our armor, all of our weapons could get +2 reliability to them, so they could block 2 more times before they break, and our armor could all have +2 SP to it, and that's for everything but a fumble.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question, Derek.
Yarp.
Looking at serration/spikes plus 25% bleed, if she were to put that on my sword that already has 25% bleed, would that become 50% bleed?
I don't think so.
It would probably add more mathematically appropriately.
I mean, I just wondering if it would stack or not, because
I
it
don't
says
think it would stack.
plus 25%.
Oh, you know what? You're right. It doesn't say 25% bleed. It says plus. So I guess it would.
That's
Ooh.
we might.
That's,
We
I don't,
might
how
need
many
to do some,
augmentations can you do though? Because it doesn't say that there's a limit. I
takes-
imagine there would be.
The augmentation takes 3 rounds, meaning you could actually do this in combat, apparently. We might need to do some research on this, because this sounds
I'm looking at
Hefty.
it
hella powerful.
in the most updated book, and yeah, sounds like you can just straight up do it.
Because before we go fight this thing, I totally want to do this. I thought it took components.
Yeah, I'll just say, speaking as a GM here, if you wanted to take like the rest of the afternoon and into the evening to just slap everything with augmentations, I'd allow it.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to do if I could.
However, while that is great, to recap what happened last week and to pick up the game, when last we left, our intrepid, unnamed group of adventurers.
Our name is Intrepid Adventurers, remember?
Intrepid Inc. You had made your way to the village, the ice-cutting village of Whithost. You were greeted by the locals there, the peasants. The very old Yongar asked about his very young son, Olgar. You found some items, including some ice skates and a crafting diagram in the
so excited
longhouse.
Ooh.
You had a meal with Henrik and his very precious daughter, Hilda.
Precious indeed.
And you kind of discovered through some conversation something that had been bothering Henrik. The fact that he was a arsonist murderer.
Yeah.
Someone who had killed a group of people in the town and got
family
cursed
with children.
And now he's cursed, and apparently, from what you can gather, not that you told him quite directly, he's the reason this beast has come to this settlement, this beast of the lake, and has disrupted their ice cutting so far. And you know that either killing the beast or letting the beast kill Henrik is the only way to end the curse. And when we last left off, Ineth and Viverwin were going to look at this cursed burned down building, the one that Henrik had burned down. Mm-hmm. And Nug was off doing stuff. I think he was talking to Yongar.
Yeah, he was going to go talk to Yongar about specific details about the monster.
So, let's pick up.
You feel that, don't you? The pull.
Oh, I feel it.
Yeah, so you're standing in front of this building that's been burned down, and you see these like cinders in it, but no smoke, like there's snow sitting on top of it. And you feel this immense heat coming off of the building. Like you're standing in front of a bonfire. What do you do?
Ines, do you know what this is?
No.
It's bullshit.
J.G. Punchman.
Like, I should note that she reaches up to her eye patch. Oh, almost makes me wish I could switch the eye patch.
I would hate to derail us any further than we're already off the rails, but like, so Ineth, is a craftswoman, and she has a little forge that she's able to take around with her. But she only has one eye that she uses. So does she have like depth perception issues? She
knows her tools.
Okay.
That's the thing. It would affect depth perception.
Entirely flat.
But I would assume she knows her tools like she knows her own body.
Okay.
Whack my thumb. Whack my thumb.
But she would be in trouble.
God.
She would be in trouble if she had to use someone else's tools.
It's like whenever you there's viral videos you've seen where someone moves everyone's furniture to the left by like an inch. You just bump into it.
Back to the story.
I'm sorry. I threw us further off the rails. So you're standing in front of this. What do you guys want to do?
So it's not melting the snow.
No.
There's no detect magic or anything.
You could roll magic training if you wanted to use your intelligence to examine it. That's your profession skill.
All right, I can do that.
Magical training can also be rolled as a form of awareness that detects magic that is in use or specters.
21.
Boom, 21. That's pretty good. What's your base for that, by the way? That's 10 plus 5? That's pretty good. So you, from your time learning magic and everything, this is absolutely a curse.
Are there specters?
There's no specters, though. You don't see any specters. You don't detect any of them. From your knowledge of curses with this, the way curses kind of end up working is a person lets out a some sort of declaration or statement in anger or strong emotion, and that becomes a curse. So it could be, in this case, for example, one of the people
house was burning down.
In the house is burning down, said something, or maybe knew it was Henrik, and said something, and he got cursed.
Oh, the thing I wanted to know, and this would change things because now Viverwin has rolled on it. If I got closer to the source of, does the heat get progressively worse as you get closer?
Yeah, so it gets more and more unbearable. How close are you going to get?
I don't want to get all up in the house yet.
Uh-huh.
I know nothing about magic other than it is powerful.
Yeah.
But I was curious whether or not it acted like a normal heat source. Closer means hotter.
So you have a high intelligence statistic.
Yeah.
I'll say just you feel it's not quite painful, it's just intense. But you notice like your skin, maybe because you worked in the forge a lot, your skin isn't starting to burn.
So it's more like a feeling
mental.
and mental. It's not an actual fire that's going to hurt us.
No, and like you see snow in it, like for all intents and purposes, it's cold out still.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ascertain with the questions about the snow and that. We could actually go up into this house and investigate and not damage ourselves.
Yeah,
would just
that's
be
what you would
mental.
gather.
It would just be the mental strain.
Anguish.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So what do you guys want to do?
I have not seen any specters in the area. So there's no one that I can appeal to.
And this heat, she kind of moves part of her sleeve up and exposes her arm to the cold. It doesn't hurt.
Only in the brain.
It's not physical.
Like I said, bullshit. Then again, magic's chaos.
Jinkies.
Zoinks.
Fuck!
I mean, it's not. What's tough is my inner, what's the word, detective wants to like figure it out, but we already know what happened.
Yeah.
He set the place on fire.
Yeah.
There's nothing physical to really figure out about this. This is a magical curse situation.
They did say that the bodies were still in there, right?
Yeah.
Should we not? She goes, what about the bodies?
I mean, it would be respectful to bury them, but like I said, there are no specters. There's nothing actively causing the curse. To bury them probably would not solve anything.
Oh,
Are you guys going into like the rubble at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wincing in pain.
oh yeah.
As you move into the rubble, roll me some resist magic, both of you.
Ho ho ho.
So I think that's going to be will plus your resist magic skill.
16.
16.
Oh, I rolled a critical resist.
All right. So neither of you take any
I'm
damage
shielded by my knife.
as you walk in. And as you get in, you're able to kind of get over the extreme heat. Like it still feels kind of uncomfortably warm. Like you're sitting too close to a bonfire a little bit, but not like painful.
You stepped out into Arizona when it's like 108 degrees.
You just
in the
stepped out of the
desert.
Arizona airport in the middle of July. As you're looking around, I need someone, or both of you rather, to make me an awareness check. And also, this is going to be difficult terrain. I'm not sure if that's really going to affect you much. It's -2 to dodge, escape, and athletics, but
I was going to say, would that affect our awareness?
no, it doesn't really affect your awareness.
Okay.
So make me awareness checks, both of you.
Dang! I got another
Whoa.
critical.
Nice.
Holy moly.
INF does not have the Owen effect.
So both of you are able to notice that there is a trap door under a little pile of rubble
Uh-oh.
leading down. You don't see any bodies or really anything other than these charred remains. What do you do?
You see that trap door there?
I see it. I don't want to.
Do it.
So as you're standing there looking at the trap door, Nug,
That's me.
you walk up to Yongar, who's minding the fire. He's like, "Oh, Master Dwarf, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing.
Was the lunch good?
Oh, the food was delicious. He's got quite a cute little kitten there.
Oh, Hilda's a lovely young lady."
I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the frog monster you got here.
Oh, I have much to say about the beast. 'Twas the first night of our ice harvesting season. I had assigned the first shift to 4 of our temporary workers, and I were looking on out from me window in me cabin, making sure everything had gone according to plan, you see. They had just removed the first ice block of the season from the lake center when I heard a scream. I looked out onto the lake, and there were 3 of the workers yelling and waving their hands about. I don't think they saw what happened either. They began, sir, to run when they did. The beast jumped onto the ice from the hole. It grabbed 2 of the remaining ice clutters in both of its claws. The last one was holding a torch, and the beast looked at him for a bit before stuffing both of the men captured in its claws into its gullet. And crawled under the ice it did, dragging its bloated body across the ice with its arms, moving much more slowly than it had before when it swam up.
So you're saying it left the one with the torch alone?
Yee, and then the boy dropped his torch and ran for the shore as fast as he could, and the beast dived again into the lake, and I saw the ice open up underneath the boy seconds later, and I didn't see him or the beast again until Yee came across the lake.
Well,
After seeing it avoid the torch like that, I got the remaining temporary workers to band together to make this here bonfire in the center of the village. In exchange for the food for the trip back south, as all 4 of them were ready to run naked into the forest if it meant not being here. And then I sent Olgar to get help of the mages, and I've been keeping the bonfire burning in the days since with Henrik's help.
Oh, that's an interesting story you got there.
Yee.
So, I guess my question, what are my questions to you? your Derek's shining through.
He peels back his rubber mask. It's just me.
Have you seen it leave the ice on the lake? You say you've got a bonfire here in town. Is that just a precaution? Or have you seen it actually get onto the shore? Or has anyone seen it, I suppose?
I have not seen it leave the lake, no. But that does not mean it hasn't. Roll a monster lore check.
Jeez.
Master Witcher.
Oh!
Gonna have to put some points into that. You know what? The keystone skill for the Witcher isn't decoctions or bombs. It's Witcher training. I could, you know what? I could see that. All right, so I got... Oh, that's great. Hold on.
Gotta look up a fumble?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
That is... You said monster lore.
Yeah. Monster lore, tactics, or deduction. Sorry.
Well, I got a fumble with a 5 on the die.
So you fumbled by 5?
I fumbled by 5. So if I were going with intelligence, if I was going with monster lore, that would be a solid 0. I'm going to instead go with deduction, which is... No, wait, that's also... It was deduction, monster lore, tactics?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 0.
0?
Absolute 0.
It's 0.
You are absolutely sure this is a frog giant.
Aye, that's how a frog giant typically works, I hear.
Yeah.
He's a smart man building a fire in this village. Frog giants are terrified of it. Especially them icy ones like you got here.
You are absolutely sure it's a frog giant who's vulnerable to fire.
So you say that.
So...
And it makes me feel like me, the Jacob, like it's not vulnerable to fire. But me, the Jacob, also was reasonably sure it was vulnerable to fire. So now I'm just confused. It doesn't care for the flame. It ran from the torch. It hasn't.
Textbook frog giant.
Frog giant, comma, ice.
Textbook ice creature.
Because there's also like sewer frog giant and your forest frog giant.
Swamp frog giants.
Swamp frog giants. You know, you gotta be careful.
You've heard the legends of cloud frog giants.
Yes.
What about the fire frog giants?
Fire frog giants would be terrifying.
Terrifying beasts. Oh, you're a smart man building this fire here. It's kept that frog giant away. I could almost guarantee you it could come onto the shore. It only makes sense. You're a smart man.
We are so blessed to have a smart and talented monster hunter as ye, Master Dwarf.
You humble me. I'm just a man trying to do what he can.
Mm-hmm.
I am smart. Thank you.
No.
Let's see. Any other questions that I might have?
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
I, outside of the game, love Nug. I cannot tell at this point in time if Riverwind genuinely likes him. I think she does. Or if she is faking because she knows just how stupid he is.
I'll say it like this. Nug is genuinely a person who cares about other people, with one notable exception right now. He just also thinks he knows more than he does.
So he hates Henrik then?
Oh, no, he does not like Henrik.
Yeah.
The thing about Nug, though, is Nug is reliable. Just not in what he thinks he's reliable in.
Yeah.
He can swing a sword.
So, you're saying that the only times you've seen that beastie is when it attacked your people the first night and when it came after me and me crew?
Yeah, that is how it be.
And anyone else see it before they left?
Nay, sir.
What about that guy over there in the house?
Enric.
Yeah, him.
He's seen it just as he hasn't even seen it as much as I have.
All right. And okay, so you've basically told me everything you know. Your information is valuable and will indeed be helpful. How many torches do you have here in the village?
Oh, not many, but I'm sure if you go to the cursed house and pull up some of the spare timbers, you could make a few fair of your own.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll go to the cursed house then. Thank you. And I'll walk over to the cursed house.
All right, this is a good merging point. You walk over and you see Viverwin and Ineth moving away rubble, revealing a trap door.
And staring at it, deciding whether or not we're opening the trap door.
Nug, you should give yourself a moment to acclimate.
What are you talking about? And I'll pass by the threshold.
You also feel this immense heat. Make a resist magic check.
So that is an 8 on the die for a total of...
8, right?
Actually, no, for a total of 19.
You take
nice.
no damage.
This is resist magic, right?
Right.
Yep. I put 1 point to resist magic.
What was the lowest that we could get?
What?
What was the lowest that we needed? What's the DC for this?
It was an easy check, just 10.
Okay.
Oh, so as long as we didn't fumble, all of us.
Basically, yeah.
Pretty much.
It's a bit warm over here.
You start taking your coat off.
Is anything interesting?
But besides a fucking trapdoor.
It's a trap?
Trap.
It's a trap! Nug gets worried.
Nug.
I'm not too sure about that.
Nug, my friend.
Oh, you mean
Trapdoor.
like a cellar
Like a
door.
cellar, yes.
Oh, okay. All
It's
right, all
a
right.
door giant, Nug.
Oh my god. He's a mimic.
Good heavens! You'll stab the door.
What gets me is,
Have at thee!
does
Is everything just a different type of giant?
If it's bigger than him.
so then does that mean
Eyes
Ineth
up the elf giant.
and Viverwin are giants too?
Elf giant, human giant.
This giant species so gets around.
I'm watching ye.
Oh my god.
I guess the trapdoor.
Big fan of the Witcher joint.
Nug's bestiary that gives you a minus is just a catalog of giants.
Human, subspecies of giant. Elf, subspecies of giant.
If we're never
Taller dwarves, subspecies of giant.
Question mark. You're not sure about dwarves though.
we're never
yeah,
doing this, but if
giants.
we could do something like word of the week for this season, it would just be
Giant.
Nug's giant catalog
Thing bigger than me.
is a giant.
So are we planning on going out into the cellar?
I want to know, does it look like a cellar door? Does it look like it was hidden?
Or when you say trapdoor, do you mean a booby trapdoor?
No, like trapdoor down to like a basement.
Yes.
It's like where a guy would keep his gaming setup, like when he
man
moved
cave.
back, like when he lives with his parents during the summer while he's in college.
So a hiding place.
Oh, also, as
that's a
he's
basement.
walking up, he will mention what he learnt, or at least what he thinks he has learned from the not mayor, the guy I assume is mayor for some reason.
So are we saying that we're smart enough to know that Nug's information is so-so?
Now,
Make monster lore checks,
to be fair,
both of you.
Okay, I got none, but I can still roll it.
I do believe it is a fair assumption, even if
40.
this is
Oh my god!
what?
Oh, how?
2 10s.
Holy crap!
crap!
You'd rolled a 10 that exploded, another 10 that exploded, and a 9.
I don't even think I need to roll now.
What is this beast called, and how do we kill it easily, DM?
All right, so
Like, should I even roll?
all right, I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
Nug
put that in
comes
my
back.
notes.
You can roleplay this if you want, and you start regaling the story.
It doesn't like fire.
And somehow you regale the story basically exactly as the man did, and then you start going into your own. And Viverwin, you know for fact that he's completely wrong.
Really? But it ran from the guy that had a torch.
That doesn't have to
Viverwin.
mean anything.
Listening to the story that Nug tells you, you can figure out a couple things. It's primarily food motivated. It dislikes fire and avoids it if possible.
I'm taking notes.
It is a capable swimmer, which I think you already were able to figure out.
Yes.
Its stomach is somewhat stretchy and can hold up to 3 humans before it's full. Or if you're Nug, 3 human giants. Once full, it is incapable of moving quickly on land, but is still perfectly capable of swimming. Despite being full, it continues to seek out nearby food.
This is very apt for frogs.
And then lastly, it can break the thick ice on the surface of the lake very easily, which I think you already knew before.
Yeah. A fucking 40. Viverwin gazes into the past.
Magically enhanced.
Just like, have you ever watched That's So Raven?
Oh yeah.
Just like the
The zone outlook comes back with a jolt. Oh yeah.
something like that. And because magic, maybe that's actually what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, enhanced by magic. I mean, how else do you describe a double exploding 10?
So obviously it's a bit weak to fire because it's an ice frog giant. But, that's all the important details that he was able to give me.
How many people do we know this thing is eaten?
1, 2, 3. It's eating 3.
In theory, it's not up on, well, according to what we know now, it's not getting up on lands because it's eaten 3 people and it can't travel well.
That was like a week ago, though.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Right?
I could digest faster than that.
Right.
Then again, this thing is in the ice. Its metabolism is probably non-existent.
But it is a cursed creature.
It is also super fast.
So,
And thing move fast, use lots of energy. It doesn't like fire.
yeah, it's vulnerable to fire.
You are so smart.
100%
Thank you for
sold
helping
on the
me.
fire thing.
Oh, IQ, I do, Troy. And I was thinking maybe we could find some donkeys or something to feed it so that it's slow whenever we got to fight it.
The thing is, there's really no livestock in this town due to its
Will-
location.
Or
Wolves!
we feed it. I got nothing.
No, will it eat something that's not a human, though?
Maybe
is the
if we
real
could
question.
Trick it into thinking it is.
Build human-sized
Nothing.
dummies.
Yep, human-sized dummies.
Yeah, like I was saying, stuff rocks into
Yeah.
human clothing.
Yeah.
Now, would this be more of a weight thing or a size thing?
Yeah, not sure of that.
But how would we get those things out onto the ice without endangering ourselves?
That
Roll
is
it.
Carry fire?
that is true
Use
because you
ice
are
skates?
certain as soon as you go back out on that ice and are not like directly on the shore, it's gonna pop up.
Is there happen to be a jail here with death row criminals?
No.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
anyway.
not too sure about that.
Oh, it'll be human
That there.
sacrifice ain't hurt nothing. I'm kidding. Doug does not say that.
Okay.
Are we going to go into the basement? I think we should.
Yes.
I really want to explore. Cat wants to explore that
Maybe
basement.
there's another avenue to get rid of this curse that we couldn't tell just by talking to what's-his-face. The guy whose name isn't important.
If we do go
And right-
down, Viverwin is going to be like, I know who did this to you. You know who did this to you. I am witness to the injustice that you suffered.
I have some art for what you find.
You say that as you go down, and Nug goes right behind you. He just kind of looks around and he's like, hey, what she said? That's rough, buddy. And he'll start going down the ladder.
Thank you, Nug. Every
So-
mage deserves to have a talented
How
witcher
many-
at their back.
Oh my god. How many of you can see in the dark?
I don't think I can.
I think witchers are the only ones that can see in the dark in this game by default.
Well, I mean, couldn't we just grab a piece of timber from the cursed house and set it aflame and use it as a torch?
Even witchers
could.
only get help in dim light, not in darkness.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll light a torch and toss it down before we go down,
Why don't we hold the torch?
because then our hands will be full.
True. I got 2-handed
And
weapons.
let's face it, if this is a regular basement for a regular peasant family, it should not be large. One
Yeah.
torch should,
True.
theoretically, staring at the DM, should do the job.
Yeah.
So when you go down, you find this underground larder, and you see 4 emaciated bodies huddled together. A small wooden platform has been placed near the bodies on which charcoal portraits and pressed flowers are arranged. One for each of the different bodies.
This is weird. There's no fire damage down here.
No.
Like none.
I'm still freaked out by the bodies.
Do the bodies look as though they've been burned?
Maybe a little bit, but they almost entirely look like they've died from hunger.
Was the door covered?
In rubble.
So we had to clear it out.
Yeah.
The thing is, there are those 3 portraits. I think those were the people that died in the fire, right?
How big was this family?
Okay.
4 bodies is what I said.
Well,
that's what you see in the picture.
The family, how big was the family that we were told from the villagers?
I think he would have told you 4.
Did they escape the fire down here and expect to pop out?
But, okay, if they...
Would they not have banged on it? Would nobody have heard?
Yeah, because the curse, you assume the curse happened because they were dying and they did the curse.
Nug.
Yes.
Your amulet does nothing.
Take it!
Henrik was stealing food from them, is what he told you.
Can I yell up to Henrik?
I mean, he's not like directly outside. He's in his house, so yelling wouldn't get him.
Do I need to go get Henrik?
I do not think that any of us should be alone down here.
Oh, I can leave Einith with you.
I'm just...
Do we all want to go? Should we stick together?
So, I'm assuming someone starves to death, it's cold weather, they would be mummified, correct?
Right.
How many of the bodies are mummified?
All of them.
Oh.
Emaciated.
So did none of them die from the fire?
I mean, some of them look like they have scorch marks a little bit on them, but none of them like died from it.
Do any of the pictures on the table look like Henrik?
No.
They look like themselves.
Do any of the bodies look not as old or emaciated as the others? Or do they all appear to be in the similar condition?
They all appear in the similar condition. They all look emaciated.
Okay.
Do any of them have bite marks out of them?
No.
Okay, so probably not any ghouls.
Did he lie to us?
That's what I want to know. Did he lie or did he not tell us? Does he not really know what happened?
Did he start a fire and then somehow keep them trapped down here?
Somebody should be guarding the door. Just in case he shuts us in here.
Well, I think I could figure this out given some time. I think my job's better suited as a guardsman.
Well, I mean, sorry to interrupt here, but to be fair, you guys you didn't even notice the door because of all the rubble that was on top of it.
But like, okay, I get that. My worry is they would have been pounding on the door when people came to check out the burned down house. Where did the curse come from? I'm also assuming that the curse would happen because someone did this cursed, Henrik while dying. But
could they not have cursed him while they sat there starving to death unheard?
But they wouldn't have been starving to death unheard if the people weren't afraid to come to the house because of the curse in the first place.
Maybe there was just a damn you while they escaped or something.
It could also be the fact, remember, this is a curse. This is supernatural, right?
Yeah.
So just because the bodies are emaciated doesn't mean that's how they died.
That's fair. The curse could have done something here. They could have been trapped, and going downstairs was their only hope.
How do the portraits end up down here?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Did they look hand-drawn? Are they masterfully done?
They do look hand-drawn, but they're not bad or anything.
Yeah, I'll go closer to the bodies and examine them further.
I'll go with you.
I mean,
Thank
they're
you.
emaciated corpses. From your just base intelligence, and do you have I forget, is there a medicine skill exactly?
There is first aid under craft.
There
Do you
is
have-
first aid.
Do either of you have first aid?
I have one.
I do not have it trained, but I could try it.
I'll try it.
All right, roll it, both of you.
It's only got a 3, so it's not gonna be good. Boop. 7. Holy 35.
I rolled 2 10s that exploded just like Drow did.
All right, so
Drow
with
exploded.
that result, my goodness, you know, like for a fact, that these bodies died of hunger and are mummified in the
no
cold.
question.
Yeah,
They starved to death,
yeah.
not the fire.
And if anything, this looks like a tomb for them more than like you don't know if they were put here after they died or if they died here like this. Not sure.
Are they expecting it? How many days have we been here? How many days do we have left?
This is our first day here.
This is our first day here.
We still have like 5 or 6 days.
This is your second day since leaving the sorceresses. So you have 5 days left to get back in time.
4 days to kill the monster, really.
I am curious. If we went through the storage, do we actually find food?
That's what Nug's doing right now.
You don't find any food.
Could I try to do like a sense magic thing?
Yeah, well, I'll roll over your previous magic training check.
Okay.
This place is just emanating magic. If someone had a real Witcher's medallion, it would be vibrating quite a lot.
Take offense at that.
It would be shaking like an earthquake.
This is a real handmade medallion.
But it's very magical. You also find down here, you don't find any food supplies. All the barrels and everything are emptied out. You find some scraps of leather. I think I would give you 2 units of leather. There's like some leather crafting.
Should I take those?
There's some leather crafting tools and a hardened leather diagram.
I'm going to take the diagram and tools. If I have to just dump some bones, I'll just dump some bones.
Oh yeah, we have the bones.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Hardened leather.
But that's it in the storage containers.
Do you need information for... Yeah, that's it. Do you need information for the thing?
And I'm imagining it's novice, since that's a pretty basic ingredient.
Yeah, it's like the other one with the it being a crafting component. So it's novice.
How much time does it take, and what's the DC?
Right. So hardened leather is crafting DC 14.
Okay.
Also takes half an hour.
It would make sense for leather to be harder to craft than hardened wood.
Nug is going to go upstairs, and he is going to go across the way to... What's the guy's name again?
Alone?
Yongar?
No.
Henrik?
Henrik.
Okay.
He's going to knock on Henrik's door.
It takes a minute, and Hilda opens up. Oh, it's the dwarf guy. Hey. Hi. You need to speak to Daddy?
Hello there, Hilda. Yes, please speak to your father.
One moment. Shuts the door in your face like a child does.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
And then Henrik says, back again, Sir Dwarf. Can I help ye?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Could you step outside with me? And
sure.
If we step out the front door, are we within view of Yongar?
Yeah.
Let's step around the side of the house real quick.
Okay. What is it, sir?
After you burnt that family's house down, did you get back in there to the rubble?
Oh, we had put the bodies in the basement and put little portraits of them to commemorate them.
See, I think that's what's causing us some confusion here. I thought it was said at one point that they could not get back to the house and they could not recover the bodies after the fire because of the curse.
Oh, did I say that?
I thought you had.
Oh.
Now, I might be wrong, but I was under that impression.
I'm also confused as to why the trapdoor would be covered up entirely like that if they had done that. Made them a commemorative.
If I said that, I apologize, because that's not the case. I may have lost my way.
How did they die, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I assume they perished in the fire.
Did you move the bodies back downstairs, or did somebody?
We all did. Me, Yongar, and Olgar.
What did their bodies look like when you moved them?
Charred.
And you're sure they were dead?
Dead as could be.
Nug stares at him hard.
Roll human.
I hate it when you make me roll stuff.
Let me come with you.
I know.
Come with you.
Human perception, is it?
Honestly, I was going to have him end up getting mad and punching him. I didn't, because there was the miscommunication. If I had known, I may have asked you to come with me, but I didn't, and we're not going to take it back. Unless you have something to say.
How long do we really want to stay down here with these bodies by ourselves without our super strong guy?
Listen, if you want to say you came with me and the DM's fine with it, I won't argue.
Can we say that like seconds after he leaves, Inef looks to Viverwin.
Oh shit, is he gone?
Because
he's not here.
Here's what I thought was going to happen. Nug left quietly to go talk to this guy, was going to find out that either they went back and didn't find the bodies and he was going to deck them. But the fact that they actually I think it makes things a lot more understandable. Kind of, not completely, but a lot more understandable now that I realize that I was thinking something wrong.
And like my thought, I could have said that on purpose, with the intention being of Henrik warding you guys away from it.
Oh,
that might be it.
I have had a little bit to drink, so I don't remember why I said certain things.
If you want to have come with Nug and the DM is fine with it, I could use some help rolling human in. I'll still roll, but I don't have very.
What I'll say happens is Nug goes to do this, and about a minute later, you guys realize that he's gone. Make your way out, and he's at that point. You're already at the door, so you're not quite there.
Human int is what? Empathy?
Human
perception.
Perception is a skill under empathy.
Holy crap! I still got a 16, so it's not horrible.
He is genuinely remorseful, and you think he's telling the truth.
And the reason the door was covered was because you put a rubble there to mark it as some kind of tomb.
Well, yeah, you don't want anyone getting in there.
That's fair. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I came out here to itch you because I was angry at you. But, you go back inside. Then I'll go to Yongar.
Okay, you walk up to Yongar, and he's just wibbly-wobbly with the cane again. Ooh, what say he?
Who checked out the bodies of the family after the fire?
It were all of us. It were me, Henrik, and Olgar.
And you're absolutely sure they were dead?
They're dead and charred. We put them in the larder. Can't dig graves in the cold weather.
Wait. He did say dead and charred.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means it's not just Henrik who said that they were charred.
Yeah.
So there's an illusion of heat.
Are they actually emaciated?
There's an illusion of heat at the house.
Yeah.
I wonder if that affected people who didn't, see through it at the point in time?
Point of order. You don't know what is and is not an illusion, for one. For two, this house burning down where the curse, quote, quote, supposedly started happened quite a while before the beast showed up. And you would guess that Henrik's, its transparent stomach thing probably didn't appear at first either.
So this is not a recent event. Their deaths and the burning.
When did talking to Yongar, when did the fire stuff, the curse fire-wise, start happening at that house?
Oh, when did we first notice it?
And you moved through that to bury the bodies in the larder.
We buried them in the larder not but a day or two afterwards, whenever the smoldering had gone down. But then we noticed the smoldering came back and never stopped. At that point, we realized it'd be cursed, Sir Dwarf.
This is sufficiently creepy.
There's something we're missing.
Yeah, we're missing something.
They'll go back to Hanover. I don't know his name. For some reason, I cannot remember Henrik's name. There you go.
It's like Tim Allen and the Santa Claus.
We're missing something.
Bam, 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 bam.
Could I have Viverwin catch up with him at this point in time?
Sure.
I was assuming you guys were with him the whole time if we were doing the other thing.
I need to talk to you specifically.
Henrik?
No.
Oh, Henrik. Oh, sorry, because I just knocked on the door. I was a little confused.
I need to check something.
Hey, okay, when Henrik opens the door, I'll let you do that, but first, hey, when'd your stomach go all see-through and whatnot?
Oh, it were probably a few weeks after the burning of the house. Maybe a week at earliest.
All right, you can have them.
Can I help ye?
I need you to come into the basement with me.
Oh, I don't want to approach that house.
I do not give a flying fuck.
Make a intimidation check.
Persuasion. Where is that?
I said intimidation.
Intimidation?
It's under will.
Yep.
Can I assist?
Okay. What do you say?
14. Ooh.
I say, oh, listen here. You are going to listen. And just kind of...
I love it.
I can only be but so... She is too nice, but but it's not just what she says. She kind of she throws her shoulders back a little bit, emphasizing the fact that she's a built, almost 6 foot tall.
All right, I'll smack the dickens out of ye.
All right, listen here. You listen.
You listen.
Roll an intimidation on your own.
Okay. I was going for more of a physical intimidation than a word intimidation.
Okay.
I imagine okay, I got a 16.
Nice.
I rolled a 6. She would be an intimidating figure, I imagine.
He says to both of you, "There's no way I'm going back in there."
All right, third time's the charm. Nug will walk up and he'll be like, "Hey, if you don't come with me, I'm going to feed you to that frog."
Roll an intimidation.
I love Nug so much.
Me, you listen.
It is 18.
18?
Only two better
I got
than me.
a 2 on the die for an 18.
That's enough.
So I only barely failed?
Yeah. That's just barely enough.
His intimidation is actually better than his swordsmanship
That's
due to
funny.
his armor.
Can I yell for Youngar to keep an eye on Hild?
He gives you a thumbs up.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be alone.
Yes, She mentioned wanting to know how to ice skate. I am not about to let
I
that
know,
child-
right? And the
Yes.
picture of her has her holding ice skates.
Yeah.
And I'm nervous.
So you basically
adorable.
drag Henrik with you, and he's shaking whenever he sees you bring him right up to the rubble. What do you do?
He's got him scruffed, but like he's a dwarf and this
So,
guy's
like,
a man.
the guy's hunching
So,
and his knees
like-
are dragging the ground.
So Nug looks at you. I got him where you want him. I could toss him down the trapdoor.
I need him to look at the bodies. Don't throw him.
All right, go downstairs.
You doing this to me?
Because
There
quite
is something I need you
frankly,
to check.
oh, and I don't like you. So he'll shove his head down the door and wait for him to grab the ladder and go down.
I don't know.
He shakily stumbles down the ladder.
I need you to look at the bodies. Do you see
What
them?
about them?
How does it look like they died?
He looks at them, and his jaw drops. He drops the torch he's holding. He's like, "By gods, they were nothing but charred remains when we brought them down here. They look starved. What's happened? What witchery is this?"
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. Hey, let me ask you this. Was any of them a priest or a doctor?
Nay, not that I know.
Do I... When looking at these, do any of them look like sorcerers? Do any of them look like
No.
druids or priests?
No. All the people in the village that you've talked to have said they burned to death. They put
And
them
they
in
saw
there.
it. So were they seeing an illusion, or have the bodies physically changed?
If the bodies physically changed and they were dead, why are they still quote unquote, why did they die of hunger, and why is this curse hunger based? Because it's not
And it's still
fire-based.
involved with fire.
Yeah, but the slight
Yeah.
burning outside, but the creature and the man,
Is hunger.
it's hunger.
Yeah, it's all hunger.
I mean, it's entirely possible. Remember, the house looks like it's still burning, but it could just be that the corpses have like reflected the nature of the crime. Remember, he was stealing food from them.
So it could be just a whole bunch of funky magic stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But how do we get this much funky magic in a tiny little village with nothing to it?
So is
Remember,
this,
that was the motivation for him.
is this literally IDK magic?
You know, sometimes as a GM, there's a simple answer, which is just like wacky curse magic. And your players aren't satisfied with that.
Because it's not satisfying.
It was satisfying enough when you were like, that's how curse happens.
Yeah,
Angry
but
word
that was
speak.
before.
Because
So
that makes total sense.
okay. So if we're just going off the fact that it's funky curse magic, it does make sense. But when we find it like this,
So here, hold up. Hit the brakes here.
Yeesh.
A transparent stomach man and a giant frog.
hunger.
Great. Got
Yeah.
it. No problem.
Bodies that go from charred to starved.
No. Draw
No.
the line.
No.
That's because that would immediately. If you were playing this and weren't a DM, you'd have the same issue.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I just run them.
There's something wrong here.
Oh, you don't think.
So
No. It's him.
Fire frog giant would have been better.
But that's too difficult. According to Nug's bestiary of giants.
I mean, you're
It's
right.
too much.
Well,
Fire Frog Giant is above your pay grade.
This whole place is drenched in magic.
hell if I know what's going on. Can we let him go back up? He's about to piss himself.
He has pissed
He might
himself.
already
He
have.
has, in fact, pissed himself in this tomb.
Desecrating the tomb.
You're disgraceful, sir.
It's not like he can make it much worse for himself.
He'll let him go.
Yeah.
He runs back to his house, pissing and sobbing.
Oh dear.
Okay, so here's what we're, as players, because Nug is not this smart. The fire killed these people. They then buried them.
But here's the thing. All right, so you're saying it doesn't make sense.
No, I'm talking it through. I just want to, from a player, I want to talk this through.
But this is what you know. He set fire to this place
Because of food.
because he was covering up that he was stealing food.
Yes. So the first part of the curse is house is eternally on fire, quote unquote. Second part of the curse, which has actually affected people, is, oh, you did this because you were hungry. Now your stomach will be see-through, and we're sending an eternally ravenous beast after the village. Or rather, him specifically, but the village is being victimized by it.
Instead of him dying of hunger, his hunger killed other people.
Yes.
Hence, the bodies are emaciated.
See that, when you say it like that, that makes sense.
Their state represents.
We have wasted a whole episode.
In which the players are dumb and can't understand magic world
here's the
because
thing.
we live in mundane world.
We're not dumb.
Or are we just too metagaming?
We had reasonable assumptions. That's all I'm going to say, is we had very reasonable assumptions.
You know what? I think this is it. Let's go kill the fucking frog.
Oh, this is way
Cat-
over my head.
Can we please get out of
Listen,
here?
we just got to get a bunch of torches because this thing's weak to fire. So let's grab some fire
can we
and
get
take
out
with
of
us.
here? I don't like it.
Nag,
Aye.
the frog giant, it is not weak to fire. It is.
But it's icy.
It does not like it.
It's it doesn't like fire because it hurts.
Oh, it's a good last resort.
What do you mean last resort? Fire is always a good first resort. It doesn't matter what you're fighting.
I'm saying if it's not actually vulnerable to it, we don't depend on fire, but we have it as a backup.
Well, I mean, fair enough, but I was just saying, it's obviously, it's an ice frog. It's weak to fire. It lives in the ice. Fire is bad for it.
Before we fight this thing,
Oh, we'll probably be going upstairs we'll have this discussion as we go to wherever we're going to prepare.
I can do some work on our armor and weapons before we fight this terrible thing. But if I fail, your weapons and armor are damaged.
Oh, that's worth a risk, I suppose.
I feel like she would know this, would be fully aware of the fact that I can make it better, but if I mess up, it's going to be worse. And I want you guys to know we are not in a place where we can easily get more.
Aye.
That's my assumption.
Well then, I'm fine with it.
All right, so who wants to go first on these augmentations that you want to do with your new skill?
So here's the question. I want to ask this to you, DM, because you might DM Fiat some of this.
Right.
It doesn't say there's a limit to how many augmentations. I'm assuming that you can only get a augmentation once. Otherwise, you could just get +2 SP to your armor over and over and over, which is not...
No, you only get one.
But do you only get one of each augment, or do you only get one augment?
I'm just going to say one.
One total?
One total. You can add
Or
one.
whatever.
This Reddit feed is giving reasons why you would only be able to do one.
Yeah.
Well, then, in that case, here is what Nug would like if you would roll for it.
Yeah, well, she goes, I can reinforce, make it bleed. Oh, I can lighten it.
For each piece of armor, he would like the SP augment. And for his weapon, he wants to shoot for the stars for lighten.
Okay. So
For what?
Lighten.
You want to lighten it.
+1 accuracy. That
So
would give
let's-
me an additional point.
So let's roll for the armor first. Bruce, that's 3 pieces of armor. One
Yeah.
for your head, one for your body, one for your legs. I need you to make 3 crafting rolls. And make sure you take a +2 to this because you have your Tinker's
I have
Forge.
my Tinker's Forge.
All you gotta do for this first 3 is not roll a 1.
Okay, so I'm going to add a 2 because of my Tinker's Forge. So I'm going to say this is for the torso.
So that's a 14.
14.
Okay.
The DC is
14.
14.
Oh, do you have your stat thing filled in on your, what's it? Under profession, choose at the top right of the box.
Yeah, your
the stat
bonus
for
is
it.
14, so
Oh, I didn't.
There you go.
Let me
So
add.
You still
it's
made
crafting.
that one.
Yeah.
It's still crafting.
And
Oh, it didn't. It was like it was missing something to be added.
yes.
Well, then my craft is plus 10.
So that's a 20. Yeah. So
I would
you
get a
still make it.
24.
Yeah.
So that I want to say that was for my helmet. We're working down the body.
Oh, I was said that was for the torso.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Okay, so your torso armor takes it. So, yeah, now that you have that set, make me another roll for your helmet.
23.
Yeah. So 24, 23. Helmet takes it. And now for the legs. Wow.
I got a crit. This time is a 34 with an 8. Like
So-
I exploded to an 8.
The way I imagine this kind of working is you're back in the longhouse. You have your Tinker's Forge set up. You're augmenting the armor. Maybe you're changing the fit of it. Maybe you're adding bits of leather to make it more snug at different places. I don't know if you really have access to metal to add more material to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I have metal.
But Nug, your armor basically goes up by 2 for every part.
And you should note this is Inef in her zone.
Yeah, this is what you're good at. So now for the big one, want to lighten your cord, which
Yep.
is your weapon.
That is an 18 DC.
Yeah, so make that.
Why
roll.
is it higher? Oh,
Because
because it's lightened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're willing to let me do it,
No risk, no reward.
according to my other rolls, it's totally possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Ah,
I
that's
got a 5 plus 10 plus 4 plus 2 is 21. I made
that'll
it.
do
Yeah.
it.
So
you
your
can
weapon
add
is lighter.
lighten to it, which is +1 weapon accuracy, which is pretty big.
This is cool. I'm already using my craftsmanship as usefulness.
There you go.
I mean, +2 to stopping power could make a big difference.
Yep.
Huge difference. What is your stopping power on all your different body parts now, Nug?
With my dwarf bonus, it's 16.
Dang! It's like you've got plate now.
Yeah.
Imagine if you did have plate with an augment.
I know, right?
Chunky. Okay, so let's go for your different parts of your armor. Roll for your head.
I got a 25.
Okay.
Rolled a 9.
So that's +2 to your head. Do your torso, which will be your
22. Rolled a 6.
okay, and legs. Another 22.
All right.
All right, so add
+2.
2 to all your different parts of your armor.
All right, and then I want to do my weapon. Let's see. Get me some accuracy because I'm not as high a hit as Nug. I want to get better chances to hit.
So you need to hit over 18. Yeah, so make another augmentation roll.
Nervous about this one. 19. Oh, I rolled a 3.
Barely got it. Okay, so you're able to lighten your weapon, which will add +1 weapon accuracy. And which weapon is this?
My iron longsword. It's just a basic sword.
It's now getting into the evening. It's not dark yet. It's like maybe 5:30, so it's starting to get dim.
It's a well-known fact that frog giants are better at night because they can see in the dark. You don't fight them in the day. It's them amphibian eyes.
You're an expert on frog giants, I see.
Oh, I'm an expert on many monsters.
Oh,
Frog
he
giants just
is.
being one of them.
Giants are my specialty.
Aye.
What do you guys want to do?
All right, team meeting time. All right, we'll probably meet in the log house where there's nobody else around. Or
We need some privacy.
we sure we don't just want to feed the man to the frog.
What would make you think that would work?
I'm just throwing it out there, just asking. He clearly deserves it, but I know he's got sympathy weight because he's got a child.
child.
I'm just saying he deserves it. We ain't gotta.
No. Hard pass.
Okay, it's fair. Just
Hilda
yeah.
needs him, don't you know?
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Nug, we're cool.
Oh,
I
yes.
have known you for a little while now.
For at least a day. Yeah, we've known each other for at least a cute few days now.
How long have we known each other?
A few months
We
at
didn't
least.
discuss
Yeah.
at all how we
I would
became a
assume
team.
because if we're being hired as a team, we're probably an actual team. I'd
Yeah.
say months at least.
I'm gonna say at least a year.
We've been traveling for a long time now.
Oh yeah, for a couple of months,
You know about my family's history.
Oh yeah, or terrorism.
Yeah, the story I tell.
Yeah, I think we've gotten into your life path background.
Actually, I'm surprised. Would you have mentioned this? Like, just saying. Because Squirtle, Nug has nothing against, because he may have been in a northern kingdom, but he's in Skellig, which is not, in fact, a northern kingdom. So he wouldn't care one way or another.
And I'm from essentially like Lyria. Would that matter to me?
Depends on what you feel like. The Squirtle are basically just anti-human terrorists. So it could have affected you, it could have not affected you.
Well, I also grew up in the wilderness, so I might not have spent most of my childhood not in my village.
Oh, we've known each other for a good bit, yeah?
I am not afraid of violence because of that. I grew up around it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen you burn people alive.
Wolves?
Are you telling me? I'm sure we fought bandits at least once.
Oh, come on. Sure, we fought somebody that you burned alive.
I'll be very useful against that frog giant.
I don't shy away from violence, but I don't want to enact more if I do not have to.
Oh, understandable.
Is this something that would make you feel better, though?
Oh,
is this a moral quandary that you are having?
I think he clearly deserves it. But, I mean, because of what he's done, 3 men have died, not counting the family he burnt alive. So, but, like I'm saying, I know he's got a child, and that's important and all that. So, I mean, if we want to leave him be, we can do that. I suppose the real question here isn't whether we feed him to a beastie. It's, do we tell anyone what he's done? Because at that rate, he'll still put him to death.
We can't leave the child alone, you know.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm asking. If we're deciding to tell somebody, it might be worth mentioning. It might be worth giving him the chance to die for, a good reason, as opposed to just die as punishment. But we don't have to tell anybody, so...
We're not feeding him to a beast. We're just going to go. Nobody else has to find out about it unless he says something.
All right.
At that point in time, it's out of our hands. I wash my hands of this. Dust their hands off.
Hey, we just had to talk it out. It's cool. So we got any plans for this guy? Not a guy. We got any plans for the frog?
Maybe we could try to feed it a straw dummy with a hook in it so that we could pull it out of the water.
Or fish on.
Fish on? Oh, I know a thing or two about fishing there.
We could use them cold winter clothes in the longhouse. It might smell a bit like people.
We did kill a whole bunch of wolves right before we got into town.
Yeah, lots of meat.
We'd
have to go across the...
Or we could take the long route. We still have days.
Yeah.
So at this point, if you want to do that, you're going to have to do it in the morning unless you want to stay out after dark.
Oh, yeah. In the morning,
we're not staying out in dark.
We still have a good number of days.
All right.
It's going to take us, 1 day to get back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the next day, if that's what you're going to do...
We sleep in the longhouse. We lock the doors.
Do we want shifts?
We make shifts.
That probably
just for the smell of smoke.
Bad idea.
All right, so you have some shifts. You sleep in the longhouse. Early the next morning, you make your way around the edge of the lake. When you leave, you notice that Henrik is minding the bonfire. Like, it looks like him and Yongar take shifts, keeping it going.
And they're the only 2 adults left in this village.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So you go around, you find the wolf bodies. Some of them have been, picked on by birds. But, let's say the warg is still in a good enough shape where you're able to drag it back. It's frozen stiff.
We're going to drag back as many bodies as we can.
I'm strong.
All right, let's say you can get 2 wolf bodies then.
Could I fashion, a little sled?
To get more?
Oh, easily, yeah. So I want a crafting roll. That's the crafting skill plus the crafting statistic from you, Kat, or Ineth.
Oh, I gotcha.
To fashion a dummy.
There's a craft statistic and a craft skill.
Yeah, I have a craft skill and a craft stat, and let me tell you, it's as maximized as it can get right now. Do I have any tools that might make this better? Hold on. I'm going to see if any of my tools I could argue would be helpful.
You've got blacksmithing
I have
stuff,
a tinker's forge, I have crafting tools.
Stick the wolf into the fire.
Whack.
Forge it into a human.
The crafting tools are specifically
God.
for
This is how
crafting
furries are made.
weapons and armor. So I'm going to guess that would be no.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making weapons or armor.
Yeah, just give me a crafting skill roll.
Okay, I rolled a 6 on the die for a total of 22.
All right, that's really good. So you're able to make at least 1 convincing dummy out of 2 wolves.
Hey, that's
and it
something.
stinks, and it has little bits of blood dripping from whenever it thawed up while you were working on it.
That's perfect though for the frog.
And you want to put this out on the ice?
Well, whenever we're ready to fight, yes.
Okay.
With a hook.
Do what?
With a hook.
With a hook.
Oh, I could. I don't have metal to make a hook with though.
Well, hold on. Check the price of components because you've got 50 crowns worth of crafting materials.
You're gonna buy a whole iron ingot just to make a hook.
If I bought an iron ingot, I'd be wanting something good.
Hey, to be fair, there's got to be something we could just bend and
give me another crafting roll, like you just did. Crafting skill.
I rolled a 24 this time.
Actually, I probably should ask you to roll foraging, but that's neither here nor there.
What
I'll
is
take the
foraging?
roll. I think it's a skill, right? Isn't a foraging roll a skill?
Forgery for craft.
that would be yes. Oh wait, that's forgery. You're right. That would probably be wilderness survival.
Yeah, I guess it would be. There's foraging rolls you can make, but it might just be wilderness survival or something else. Either way, I'll take the roll. So what you're able to find is in the longhouse, there's a long fire poker that you're able to craft into a hook, makeshift.
That makes sense.
And you put it in the body. What else are you going to do?
We need
Long rope. I got rope.
tied to like one of the longhouses.
Okay.
I bought rope. I was like, I will never again be a part of a party that doesn't have rope.
Never again.
It's wilderness
Never
survival.
again.
It is? Okay. Well, it wouldn't have applied in this instance anyway. So you have your rope. You
I have
fashion
20
it
meters
to
of
it.
rope.
What's your plan? It's now, let's say, afternoon on the next day.
We're going to lure it up, hook it, haul it out onto the ice, and keep it captured.
Okay.
That way it can't run away.
Yeah.
There's no...
Do we have any plans
Hold on,
to get it to eat any rocks?
We could try that too.
Is there any reason for me to believe that I could have found the ingredients to have crafted myself a bow? I don't have a diagram, though.
You don't have a diagram, so don't worry about it for now.
Okay.
All right. So are you guys heading out to lure the beast?
Rock. He's our man if he can't do it. No.
I mean, what else do we have that we could do?
Make a stone dummy, but how do you move a stone dummy? You'd have to build it on the ice.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have enough trouble hauling this dummy out without the beast coming up beforehand
if we know
anyway.
that 3 bodies are enough, we have 2.
Are there any sleds in this village?
Sure.
There have to be.
Okay.
Yeah, there's sleds that you use to carry the ice blocks.
All right, here's what we do. We take the meat puppet, we put it on a sled and connect the hook to the meat puppet, and then we slide the sled from the shore to the lake. That way there's the vibrations that the frog can use its supersonic sentences to get to. It will bust out of the ice. It will grab the meat puppet. It will eat it because it's meat. And then we'll have him hooked and we can start to fight him then.
And pull them in.
Yeah. And we'll have our wizard sorceress throw fireballs at it because, it's weak to fire, vulnerable to fire. And, hey, Youngar, you got any bows?
No.
All right, well, we'll just have to figure out something else in that case.
So let me get this straight. Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Your great plan is to
You
string
sounded
up...
like Fred Jones from Scooby-Doo. That's such a trap, an elaborate one.
Man's a genius.
You're going to put your meat puppet on a sleigh.
Yes.
With a hook in it.
Yes.
Tie a rope to it.
Yes.
Slide it down a hill
Reverse
onto
ice
the
fishing.
lake.
We're just going to be on the shore.
Okay.
Like
Push
right
it.
beside the lake and then push it from the shore onto the
As
lake.
far as we
How are
can
you
get
going to
it.
push it onto the lake without, if it pops up, it's going to see the meat puppet and you, right?
We just give it a good shove.
A good shove.
Yeah,
and let it
let's
go
run
as
it down
far
a
as we
hill.
can.
So you're going to run it down a hill
We could use the momentum to do that. Yeah, I guess.
and then just sit on the shore?
And fish for frog.
And try to
Okay.
see if we hook it. And if we hook it, we might have some control
Listen,
over it.
Derek, in the world of The Witcher, ingenuity is more important than any skill we can roll.
Okay, to be fair, this seems like something Geralt would do.
Listen, Witchers aren't dangerous because of potions or cat eyes or
they are
reflexes.
dangerous.
They're dangerous because they're smart.
Okay,
And
the
they
world
know
does
how to
not need a
trap
hero.
monsters.
It needs a professional.
Hey,
Unfortunately, it has neither.
Don't Viverwin, doesn't Viverwin and Inef have a full, like, max intelligence?
Yes.
I want Inef to make me, as you're doing all this.
They would know if this works, whether we would know if this works.
I want you to make me a trap crafting roll.
A trap crafting roll.
It'll be under the crafting statistic.
Oh, I can't remember if I think I added one to this. No, I didn't. Dang it, I added one to pick lock.
Well, it's still crafting, so you can roll that untrained, and you have a high crafting statistic, so you should be fine.
Okay, I rolled a 7, so I got a 17.
Okay.
I've never wished to have a booby trap skill that the Men-at-Arms has as much as I do right now.
Hey, I've been rolling good so far. I'm nervous. My fumble is coming.
All right, so I'm going to say you set all this up.
I was going to say, please don't tell me that's a roll to see if this is even possible.
Here's what's going to happen.
A couple of things are going to happen.
You set up on top of the hill. You've got your meat puppet, as it's wont to be called. You push it on the sleigh with the hook in its body, and it goes down, and it skids across the lake a little bit. And you wait, and like 20 seconds later...
Because it would feel like forever.
And then we have to start pulling it so it thinks it's a living thing.
Remember, I said that I wanted to tie the rope to something.
Yeah.
Like big.
Yeah, like
I know.
the house.
I remember.
Or
and
a tree.
It takes
a
it,
tree.
and
tree,
the rope
like-
starts going as it goes under the ice at like this lightning speed.
Oh, man.
The rope goes taut, and then it hear it creaking against the tree, but you didn't make the rolls DC. The rope snaps.
What?
Who's holding onto the rope?
Nug.
Nug goes flying down the hill.
Nug is the strongest.
Onto the lake.
Oh, no.
And that's where we'll pick up next time.
I didn't make the roll.
Promise me. Just promise me if I die, you feed that man to the frog.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Third Gallon Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing us. If you want to see more from us, check out our website, thirdgallon.com, or follow us on Twitter. We are at Third Gallon, that's THIRD Gallon. You can also tweet at us using the hashtag Third Gallon, and we are on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook with the same handle, at Third Gallon. We also publish a video version of this podcast on YouTube, which you can find on our channel, The Third Gallon. Our ambience for this episode was composed by Michael Ghelfi, and you can find more of his work at youtube.com/Michael Ghelfi Music, and you can support his awesome work at patreon.com/Michael Ghelfi. Our theme music for this season was composed by Alexander Nakarada. You can find more of his work at serpentsoundstudios.com and support him at patreon.com/A-Nakarada. That's patreon.com/ANAKARADA. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.